G-O-G-I, learn GOGI tools, real lessons to live by.
Yeah, every week we've decided that we want to share the success stories of individuals. Who else that's with us has been with GOGI a long time. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, just a very short little introduction, and then we have a lot of questions for Dustin. So GOGI Mom, introduce yourself. When did you become GOGI and who are you?
I'm Carolyn, and my son is Coach James, and I was introduced to GOGI in about 2015-16, but I didn't really get all involved until Coach Taylor asked me to participate in some other Zooms just like this one, and I have been GOGI all the way since then.
Awesome. Coach James?
Hi, everybody. My name's Coach James. I was introduced to GOGI in 2015. At the time, I was serving a life sentence and was seeking positive changes in my life. That's when I was first introduced to GOGI, and I've been GOGI ever since.
That's for sure. Coach Jeff? We can't hear you. So as you're watching this, know that technology is really crazy and it moves so fast. One thing, when you're in video meetings, you turn off your audio when other people are speaking, but then you have to turn it on when it's time for you to speak. This is very, very confusing for most people, but you'll get the handle of it. And everybody knows all these mistakes happen. We're all learning together. So it's okay. You're going to make tons of mistakes when you get out and you're on Zoom meetings and it's mute this, change your name, do this, sign in here, sign in there. You'll get it. Don't even worry about it. For now, Coach Jeff, tell us who you are and how a little bit about your GOGI.
You can hear me now, though.
Yeah, we got you.
So, Jeff Ward here. I first was introduced to GOGI in early 2015 in Kern Valley. I was still serving a life without the possibility of parole sentence. I gave GOGI a chance, and I never looked back. And as soon as I adopted, I lived the GOGI way. I became internally free in prison around 2016, and then I became physically free October 3rd of this year, 17 days ago. And it's GOGI for life.
And now you're a tax-paying citizen, aren't you?
Yes, because I just got a job.
Tell us about it.
Oh, I'm going to be an Amazon driver. So, yeah, that's going to be my first gig. Yep.
You got to make sure deliveries on time, Coach Jeff. I want my deliveries on time. I'm tired of this late stuff.
Yeah. All right. Are you an Amazon Prime member? All right.
Wonderful. Okay, GOGI Justin, tell us your name, a little bit about your GOGI journey, and nice to have you here.
Oh, nice. Thanks for having me. I'm GREP Justin. I was introduced to GOGI around 2020, also serving a life sentence, and I got out March 3rd of this year. I contacted GOGI when I got out. I seen one of my writings on their website talking about my gift to GOGI was to volunteer service. A couple of weeks later, I was in the mailroom volunteering, and that's where I still am today. I was GOGI on the inside. I'm GOGI on the outside, and just trying to promote the 12 tools.
So Justin, you're also a case manager now for GOGI.
Yeah, I'm handling that case manager for coaches, also looking over a Calipatria project, getting people on track, doing the courses, and yeah, making sure everybody does their victims impact books and whatever else we can help them with.
And every Friday morning, you're out at that GOGI mailroom, sitting on the floor most of the time, sorting mail and answering letters. I know it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
GREP Ernie, tell us who you are, what you do for GOGI.
Hello, I'm GREP Ernie. I was introduced to GOGI in 2014 when I was transferred to Soledad State Prison, B Wing, and I started GOGI then. I was at a point in my life where I did want to make some changes, and GOGI made it possible for all the tools that I learned, and it made a big difference in my life. And I used them, and I could say I became internally free in prison, and look at me now. Now I'm physically free out here. So and ever since then, I've been working in the mailroom, and I'm still there now, and I'm just enjoying it. I want to pass the tools around. Hope everybody else can benefit from them like I did.
Can you say to us because you are our Spanish speaker manager of all our Spanish speaking male, can you say hello to your Spanish speaking students?
Buenas tardes a todos los que están mirando este video. Aquí estamos compartiendo las herramientas de GOGI para todos. Gracias.
And Stacy, we love having Stacy join us. Stacy, introduce yourself and tell us about your GOGI journey.
Hi, I'm Stacy. I've known GOGI Mom and James for quite a while, and they introduced me to GOGI, and I started joining meetings in January of this year, and I've been going ever since. It's helped me a lot. I suffer a lot from anxiety and depression. I had COVID back in March of 2020. It wreaked havoc on my body and my life. And I have a teenage daughter and demanding job. And the GOGI tools have really helped me get a handle on, especially my emotions. So it's really helped me, you know, with my daughter, and I'm working on everything else. It's helped me get a handle on my, you know, the chronic part of my illness and some of the permanent parts. And it's just been a really great thing, and I enjoy being.
We love having you here. Coach Johnny.
Hey, how are you? My name is Coach Johnny. I was introduced to GOGI in 2010. It's really amazing to be able to see Jeff and Dustin and Coach James and G-Rep Justin, because I used to receive mail from them for years. And I got to actually like review their mail, and I seen their growth. And I remember hearing from them and just seeing the progress they made, not only like in their writings, like you could see the growth, and you could see the people they were becoming, and their purpose, like them identifying their purpose to serve. And when we needed somebody to pass the word of GOGI or to continue to run a group or do anything, like these people are super dependable. And it's great seeing them out here now. It's great like seeing their progress and seeing their first job as an Amazon driver. And I hope to get my deliveries on time as well. And you know, I was actually locked up with G-Rep Ernie, and we would run a group in the back of the day room. And it's just amazing. And GOGI Mom was my mom. I'm sending in the adoption papers for Christmas. And Stacy and it's just an amazing human being. And Coach Taylor has been such an inspiration. She would come visit us when nobody else would come visit us. We'd have families who wouldn't even come visit. And here comes Coach Taylor, and just inspiring people and encouraging us. So it's just a gift. It's really, really, really blessing to be able to see these gentlemen out here and just contributing to life.
I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy to see Dustin, because I'm going to tell you, I stalk you on your social media. All your social media is so great. These babies, your wife, your life, all the costumes, and what an amazing life you've created for yourself. Can you talk a little bit about how long have you been out? How did you create this amazing life? Because it's really an enviable, awesome experience, even just watching your social media. Can you share a little bit about how you came to GOGI, how you've been on since you've been home? We need your audio. We need your audio.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah, yeah, thank you for that. So when I first, I think we need to start by explaining what social media is. Maybe you guys have already, but I know when I got out and I heard social media, I had no idea what people were talking about. But you know, there's all these different platforms out here, Facebook, Instagram, and you kind of create, I don't know, an identity for yourself through them, you know, by sharing little bits and pieces of your life. So I've been doing that, kind of showing the progress of, I don't know, what I've been doing since I got out. So that's what Coach Taylor was referring to as far as looking at my social media. Yeah, I paroled 2000, August 5th of 2019 from a life sentence. I had about 20 years in the system. And while I was in there, I think it was around 2015 that I met Coach Taylor and the GOGI program. She came into Kern Valley State Prison and introduced it to a group of men there on the yard that I was at. And at the time, there was already a group going on that was teaching us about just the cognitive development of our brain. And it was fascinating to me that you can actually, I remember learning how we can think about our thoughts and change our behaviors and create new pathways in our brain. And it was fascinating to me. I had never heard this type of stuff as far as the way our brain works and how we could change our behaviors. And I really started to apply it, learn the GOGI tools, and it was a part of my progression and a part of my change, a huge part of my change. So thank you for that, Coach Taylor. And I remember the other coaches coming in, and there was a gentleman, I can't remember his name, but I remember he spent time in Pelican Bay, and just seeing him come back into the prison system and be able to give back to us was super impactful. And that's right around the time that they kind of...
Stop you for a second. See what James is putting up? Do you see that fingerprint on that artwork?
I believe so, yeah.
That is your piece of art that you donated to GOGI.
Cool. Yeah, that Coach Johnny got. Did Coach Johnny get that in the mail?
Yeah, so it's really a cool piece of art for anybody who's done that workbook. It's a thumbprint, and the lines of the thumbprint all have the tools in it. It's one of my favorite pieces of art because it's the thumbprint with all of the tools. This is more of a Celtic piece of art. Is that it, Coach James? Or do you have both of them? Is there two of them?
Yeah, so yeah, this is Dustin Jeffrey right here. This right here, put all the tools on this.
Oh, beautiful.
And then this GOGI
Yeah. So the Celtic rope thing and the thumbprint. So thank you. So tell me, what was it like when you got out? What kind of resources did you have? How did you apply the tools that you were just moving through, navigating to the life that you have now? Tell me a little bit about that process, because you didn't end up in the GOGI mailroom. Not everybody can. There's a lot of people out there and they live far away from the mailroom, but they want that support. How did you remember these tools? How did you apply them? And what advice do you have to share?
Yeah, when I first got out, it was a lot of anxiety. I was fortunate enough to get accepted into a really awesome program in Venice called Beit Shuva, and they made you take things very slow. So so I'm surprised when I heard Coach Jeff say that, he's 17 days out and he's already getting a job. For me, that would have been a lot for me to take on. And that's because of the program I went to. I don't know if he's in a program or not, but yeah, I remember the tools definitely coming in handy. I remember the first time I went to the train station, I was trying to go visit my grandma in Brea, and I was living in LA, and I had to take the train. And I had just gotten a phone. My sister helped me get a phone, and I knew nothing about apps, but someone I didn't know what bus to take or what train to take to get to downtown LA to get over to Brea. And I became so overwhelmed and so anxious that I ended up going and asking, can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. I see GOGI mom, I'm like, uh-oh.
In the moment, she's afraid. She's seeing you in this train. Look at her. She's going to rescue you.
Yeah, so it was an overwhelming moment for me. And I remember physically practicing belly breathing, and I just stopped and started to breathe and had to kind of take it in, and then positive words started to come to me, and I went and asked someone for help, and that's something that I was very prideful of in the past, not asking for help. And just something as simple as that is going up and asking someone like, hey, can you help me, dude? I do not know where I'm going, and I'm trying to get to Brea. And this person looked at me, and I didn't know how to use the app on my phone, and kind of looked at me like I might have came from outer space, but they took the time and showed me how to use the app and how to look up bus stations and whatnot. And it really helped just by asking. But the first thing I did, I remember, is took a deep breath,
Do you have, Justin, I remember when you first got out, you had a similar experience with the anxiety. Can you speak a moment to those first few moments when you're out, the first few weeks, or even the first few months, or actually the first year for some people? Speak to that sense that Dustin was telling us about that level of anxiety. How did you handle it?
Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about there, not knowing how to use the technology and the apps. Same thing, public transportation, travel. And, you know, I came out watching the news in there, seeing all this negativity, thinking that people were cold and callous in the world, not expecting to get so much kindness. And so I quickly got out of my anxiety, but it was tough at first to ask people for help because I expected attitude or people not wanting to help. Everybody has headphones in today, you know, so it's hard to find somebody that doesn't. And so you feel like you're interrupting them. And that's what it was. But I've started finding when I'd ask people, they were grateful to help. They were happy to help. And if that gave me an opportunity to tell my story a little bit, then I just made a new friend on the bus. And I love public transportation travel. It's fun. It's an opportunity to meet new people. And I love it when I see somebody who doesn't have their headphones in because I want to talk to them.
Jeff, you've just been out just a few days, really, honestly, you probably don't even have a closet full of clothes yet. You probably just have just a few little things and you need a GOGI hat and we'll send you a GOGI t-shirt. But can you speak to those first few moments of anxiety, how you handled them, the nervousness, everything new, the food that upsets your stomach, sleeping on a mattress that is a little thicker than 2 inches? Talk about that for a moment. But get them all. There we go.
Yeah. So, overwhelming is the understatement. Driving down the road with my brother, you know, just looking over there, just like surreal, crying, you know, just not being able to breathe. And I getting car sick because I haven't been in a car for almost 20 years. And I told him I had to stop and get something to drink. And we went into the store and he handed me $100 bill and he goes, get whatever you want. And I'm just sitting there staring at all the options. And there's hundreds of things that I've never even seen before. And I go, I don't know what to get. And I give me a Sprite. I'll just take a Sprite. That's what I know. And I went to the counter and bought it. And she said, $3.16. And I said, what the heck? $3.16? I said, I'm only getting the Sprite. And she said, yeah, that's all you gonna get, bro. And so it just blew my mind away. And speak to the public transit. I'm riding the bus everywhere I go now. I have a bus pass. And at first it was really, really overwhelming. To sit around all that people, especially a packed bus. It was a lot. And belly breathing was definitely, that's why when I heard Dustin talking, I was like, yeah, belly breathing was my go-to too. And I just sit there and one hand on my chest, one hand on my stomach. People were looking at me and not knowing what was going on. And the bed, oh my goodness, I'm at a transitional house right now, and the bed is foam that's like 3 or like, I don't know, like 2 feet thick, and it just sinks and it hurts your back, and I can't deal with it. I want to sleep on the floor. It's just it's a lot, you know. It's I'm starting to get a lot better now, but it's really overwhelming still, and I still catch myself in crowded areas and stuff, kind of getting anxious and stuff. But I just been just trying to fight through that, put myself in situations that I know are safe, but are still gonna you know, push me into anxiety. Like I went and spoke at a class at Fresno State University the other day about my experience, and that was some kind of way I broke the ice. But it's still there, and it pops up unexpectedly, and but it's getting better. That's the good thing.
Love it. Coach James, what would you like Dustin to share with us? You've known him and you asked him to be the guest today. What are some things that you would like to know about Dustin, his life, what he's doing now?
Yeah, Dustin is a huge friend of mine, and somebody that I followed while I was inside of prison. And he was actually a guy that invited me to my first group, Lifers group, and we started working on the paper and all this stuff. And so working with Dustin inside of prison, with the Pioneer newsletter and the way that we changed that yard, was so motivational. So then when like Dustin got out and I was still watching Dustin, you know, a lot of the anxiety for me that people are talking about, I experienced anxiety, but my what if was coming to fruition because my mother was at the gate. Dustin Jeffries was at the gate to pick me up. And so like when Coach Jeff was talking about that soda, we drove for a while and we stopped somewhere and Dustin's on his Harley behind us, right? The whole way, right? And we stop and he goes in and I'm going to get you a Red Bull. And, you know, and so I open it up and I'm like, this is nasty. Like, I don't like this, right? But he's like, no, just drink it or whatever, right? But those moments, man, like stepping out and into this like family of people, you know, Dustin was instrumental in starting the first day room groups. Like we watched Coach Johnny and G-Rep Ernie on the videos at Soledad. We're now doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Just and utilizing this template, getting the message out. Dustin was just a trailblazer in that respect, and he's been like that since he's been out. But I've watched Dustin have 2 children since he's been out, 2 beautiful babies. I've been to his wedding where there was like 8 or 9 formerly incarcerated lifers. Just being in space like this and everything, and how where we started to where we are now, and it's just a beautiful thing. Showing up in the mailroom, seeing Coach Johnny, Coach Ernie, Justin, stuffing envelopes, returning mail. You know, I got the opportunity to meet Jeff, his first meeting out. Brother, I read your stuff in the books, and it resonated with me long before I knew you. And then the other day when you shared a part of your story, it was like my story, you know what I mean? But I really look at all y'all as mentors, as friends, as peers, as coaches, but especially Dustin. And Dustin, like that's why I invited you here, because you are such an instrumental part of my trajectory into GOGI that I just wanted to let you have this space and spend time with us like this.
Dustin, talk about how you live every day and how your experience in being in prison for so long really has been a benefit to you on the outside. Because a lot of guys think, oh, I'm at a deficit. I haven't had this time. But in actuality, you have skills and talents, perceptions that other people don't have. Speaking of benefits or making that time of your life actually a benefit for your present.
Yeah, you know, there was a point in my incarceration where I used to, you know, hate everyone, hate everything, blame everybody for being in there. Today, I look at it as a blessing. You know, I was there for a reason, and I don't, you know, is there regret for some of the things I've done in my past? Sure, but it's been used to my benefit because of the things I had to go through and the growth that I gained from those things that I went through. I don't think that I would be, you know, I'm married. I've been married in the past, but I haven't been in a steady relationship for more than 6 months. Even though I was married, I was incarcerated. So, you know, those challenges met with the GOGI tools have helped me maintain a steady relationship, you know, and maintaining friendships out here with people that I met in prison, like Coach James and other individuals that are out. You know, those, when you're incarcerated, you know, I mean, you meet a homeboy on the yard and you're with them for maybe a couple years, and then you get shipped out to another prison. So you do not really, you make these attachments, but you try to stay detached at the same time, because you know that there's a chance you can get shipped to another prison, and you're not going to see him possibly ever again. So just maintaining relationships is huge. And the fact that I'm married, and I have 2 little girls now. It's sometimes I think about it, and it's super surreal, man. I remember going to church once and holding my daughter, and it was Mother's Day, and I started crying in church, holding my daughter, singing worship songs with her. And it's super surreal, because these are the things that I thought I would never be able to have, and again, it just goes back to groups like GOGI and SRT, and there's a lot of other groups out there too that started coming into the prisons and teaching us a different way, and showing us like people give a crap, and this is why we're doing this, and we want to see people change, and we want to see you guys out, because we think that you guys have something to offer out here. And everyone on this screen is a prime example of that, and I know if you are incarcerated, it can absolutely be you too. You know what I mean? Jeff, it was LWAP. He's out. I think all of us on the screen here were lifers or have done a significant amount of time, and we're out now, and we're thriving out here. We're taxpayers, as Coach Taylor said earlier. And it feels really good. It's awesome. I don't know if I answered the question correctly, but yeah. So yeah.
I loved what you said, Coach Johnny, when he said that he never thought he would be in this position. You can relate to that, can't you? And when did you make up your mind that I never thought it was possible to, it could be possible to, no, it's going to happen? Because that is kind of a pendulum swing from it happens maybe for somebody else. Well, maybe it might happen for me too. I'm going to make it happen for me. Can you speak to that transition in thinking?
Yeah, so for me, I was blessed with a lot of amazing people to come in my life. So even the commissioner that I went in front of in 2010 and gave me a 15-year denial, in that hearing, he said, Mr. Howard, I've been doing this for 35 years. He said, I could spot a fake and a fraud in a minute. And he said, you're a fake and a fraud. And I was like, who does this guy think he's, don't you know who I think I am? And as I went back to the cell and smoked weed and drank hand sanitizer, I was like, maybe he has a point. And I started looking at my life, and this amazing woman. And we started a group every Friday night. And then we got in contact with Coach Taylor. And yeah, that's probably many, many moons ago.
Randy Ashton is in that picture right there. There's Coach James, I think you're going to get the title of archivist. You could pull things right. I don't know where you get these things. I remember them, but I can't turn to page 192 in book number 30 like you can.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Like I've seen these people in CGA. They say, we came to believe that a change was possible, that those had trudged the path before out of insanity, right? So I watched Johnny and G-Rep Ernie and Dustin, and then And then, I remember like reading with love LaDon Bell's story, imagining like me being in the car with Coach Taylor, and then like going and picking up Justin, going to the mailroom, taking that ride. Like it just became such an interwoven part of my life, watching others flourish and then using the tools and then stepping into that with these people. It was just, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible. The GOGI tool, what if, is happening right now in your life. If you're watching this, within 6 years, you could be out on the streets with a job, thriving, living in a community of people that have experienced the same thing you have. Do not give up. Like, reach for your tools and use your tools. Write the mailroom. These guys right here, they get your mail and respond to that mail and offer your artwork and everything, because it goes in the books. It is a part of the story. And so I love every part of it. I've explored every single GOGI book that there is and will continue to explore.
Well, good, because we got a couple new ones coming out. So I have more for you to explore. In fact, I need some editors. So maybe I'll have you help me edit. I'm interested in Stacy's journey, because GOGI was created by and for the incarcerated. The tools were specific to the incarcerated, but I heard Stacy say that she uses them for anxiety. Very quickly, I know our time is coming short, but very quickly, I'd like her to share with us how your individual journeys help her find her freedom. But she's not locked up. She's just a wonderful woman who benefits from this gift given to the world by the incarcerated. Would you mind speaking for a moment, Stacy, about how is this applicable to your life, and what do you feel about it being created by incarcerated individuals for people just like you?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, and I'm sorry if I pause a lot, because I explained earlier that I got sick. So, I'm sorry. I use the GOGI tools, yes, for depression and anxiety. I think GOGI tools can be for everybody, and that's what I like to say. I manage a clean and sober apartment building, mostly women. Everybody there, we all have some kind of trauma that we've kind of tucked away and not dealt with past, obviously they all have substance abuse and addiction issues, and I have had substance abuse issues in the past, but just the last couple of years, anxiety and depression really got to me, and getting to learn these GOGI tools has just been amazing for me. The belly breathing is my go-to tool as well, and I do it all the time. And as far as how it affects my life, it's just made everything better so far. I'm hoping it keeps improving. For anxiety, it works really great. Depression, it's working okay. What's really helped, and what I really love the GOGI tools for, is for the younger people, the kids. And I've been teaching my daughter and using these tools, dealing with my daughter, and I feel like I wasn't a bad mother before, but I feel like it's just really improved my ability to get down to her level and be able to help her anxiety and help her through her things. She had a long stretch of anxiety and depression herself. And so by me changing the way I react, which I reacted out of, emotion, anxiety, and just not a rational person, especially throughout the pandemic. So really that whole belly breathing thing, that was really the first thing. It made me, realize, wow, this is really great. These can work for me. Maybe, they can work for my daughter. And So I started doing this in January when my daughter and I were at a really bad point, and now we are in October, end of October, and she's just doing incredible. She's just made this 180 turnaround from the, crying, huddled person in the closet to this blossoming high school girl who loves going to school, who studies and wants to do well, which we did not have that experience in middle school at all in the past 3 years. So, and even a little bit in elementary school. So, teaching her how to handle her emotions and showing her how they work with me handling my emotions and trying to always deal in the smart part of my brain. We've both grown tremendously, but especially my daughter. So I love the GOGI tools, and everybody should use them.
Yeah, I have one statement to make, and then we're going to let Dustin say goodbye, and then GOGI Mom will close us out. What I have to say is, for anybody who is incarcerated, you do not know just how valuable you can be to your communities. You just don't know it. The things that you've learned, the experiences that you've been through, especially if you're able to live with the GOGI Life Tools as your guide, you are a benefit to your community. So begin to get your mind right about that. There's a hurting world out here, and we need more people like you who could come to the party wanting to be of service and wanting to help people like Stacy and her daughter simply just by being part of GOGI. So you are part of the solution. What we know more than anything is that you, the person you are, is part of the solution. Dustin, I would love you to say some farewell words to the group if you can. You're not on camera anymore, and I don't have you on audio, which probably means that a baby fell or... Oh, I knew it! Baby and mama. Yay.
Yeah, hi. I just I wanted to introduce my babies. This is Daisy. This is the youngest. She is 9 months. This is Bowie. She's 2 years old, little over 2 years old. Oh yeah, see, and she has stuff to say too. But yeah, my parting words would be just be that what you think is impossible is absolutely possible. You have to find some positive things and flock towards those, just like you did the negative stuff. That's what I did, and I did it 100%. And I latched on to groups like GOGI and CGA and AA and NA. I really latched onto those like I did the gang life, and I made those my comfort zones rather than the gang. And it's super uncomfortable at first. It was really hard, but good things don't come without hard work. I've heard that many times, and I actually applied it, and I'm just super blessed today. I was released from a life sentence. I have a beautiful family, and you can too. You can too. It's absolutely possible. So you just gotta stay away. And so that's my parting words. And thank you, Coach James, for inviting me. Thank you, Coach Taylor, for having me. And thank you, Jeff, Ernie, Johnny, GOGI Mom, Stacy. Nice to meet you. It was really cool doing this tonight. I was talking to James prior to this, and I was like, man, I had some reservations about it, but I'm super excited that I did do this, and it's really good to see all of you guys.
Awesome. GOGI Mom, can you kind of pledge us out of the meeting?
Absolutely. So at the end of all of our get-togethers, we always do our pledge of service. So if everyone would like to unmute themselves and repeat after me. May our commitment.
May our commitment.
The study of GOGI. Grant us the joy.
Grant us
the joy
of giving and receiving.
Giving and receiving.
So that our inner freedom.
So that
our inner freedom.
May be of maximum service.
May be
of maximum service.
to those we love,
To those we love.
and in
And infinite others.
Infinite others.
Thank you. We'll see you.
Gogi for life.
Gogi for life.
G-O-G-I. Gogi told me this, I got to do it. G-O-G-I. G-O-G-I. Gogi told me this, I got to do it. G-O-G-I. G-O-G-I. Gogi told me this, I got to do it.